Bonjour, bonsoir, comment ça va? J'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, nous étudions le passé simple. Today, we are studying the passé simple. We've come across the passé composé and now we're going to look at the passé simple. So from this, you know that this is a simple tense in the sense you have one word, and a passé composé has two words. All right? Passé simple. Finally, in the third semester, I'm teaching this to you, and it's amazing how many of you started sprouting this in the first semester itself. So from now on, when you use the passé simple in your story writing, I can't say you copied, because I have officially taught you le passé simple. All right? So what is the passé simple? It's a historical past tense. It's used only for narrating history or stories. So hopefully you will start reading the semester, and you will notice that in many of the fairy tales, the passé simple is used. Compared to the imparfait, the passé simple is very precise. The action is definitely over. All right? So you can replace it with the passé composé. That's why there's a play on words on the term that denotes it. The passé composé and the passé simple are sort of synonyms, grammatical synonyms, verb synonyms. But the passé simple is the historical past tense, and the passé composé is more linked with the present tense. All right? It's known as the storytelling tense, and therefore you don't need to learn all the verbs, all the conjugations. Why? Because you say Julius Caesar lived in 1955. You do not say, I am Julius Caesar, I lived. I mean, his ghost would. But then when you narrate a story or when you narrate history, you say it always in the third person singular or plural. Not many people, even if Napoleon was to get up, or Tipu Sultan got up and spoke, he would use the present tense, right? It's the narration that is done in the past tense. So that narration is done in the IL form, the ELLE form, the ON form, or the plural form, ILS form. Okay? And the last thing you have to remember is the passé simple places an action completely in the past from beginning to end. It's completely finished. That's why we call it the historical tense. It's finished. It's in history now. It is used to narrate facts that come one after the other in the unveiling of a story. So therefore, that is why we say in day-to-day French, when you're narrating an incident, like yesterday I went shopping, I saw a cat, and the cat, le chat, the cat stole my burger. You would use the passé composé, short, fast actions. Whereas the same narration style, if you use it for 20, 30 centuries back, you would use the passé simple. D'accord? So passé simple, remember, is used for stories, it's used for history. You don't use it when you are talking about what happened yesterday when you were shopping. For that, you use the passé composé. All right, so now we have to look at formation, formation. And you have a definite formation for the first group, second group, third group, ER verbs, IR verbs, RE verbs, but we are only going to make you study the third person singular, he, she, we, or the third person plural. D'accord? So for ER verbs, how is it? You remove the ER, you get your base. To my base for il, elle, on, I add a. For the il, elle plural form, I add e accent grave, R-E-N-T. Marcher. Il marcha is the present tense, he walked. Il marchèrent is the third person plural, they walked. The same thing holds good for IR verbs. See, it looks just like the present tense here. D'accord? Remove the IR, add IT for IL and ELLE and ONT. Whereas for the IL form, add ENT, IRENT after you get your base. D'accord? RE verbs, remove the RE and you add IT. So actually IR group and RE group, it is the same formation. Remove the ending, get your base, add IT. The plural form, remove the ending and to your base, FIN, add IRENT. Same for the RE verb, remove the RE, you have ATTEND to which you add the same ending. So regular ER verbs, the endings are A and R. And IR and RE verbs, the endings are IT and IRENT. D'accord? It's quite simple. Retu, forget about it. It's there. If you're going to do MA French or an advanced diploma, somebody may ask you. But for practicality's sake, you don't need it. Even a Frenchman won't be able to tell you. D'accord? He will be able to tell you the IL and the ILS form because he grew up. That's the first tense he learned, he or she learned. It's there in the story tales, the fairy tales. But it's just a narration tense, so you do not need to know all the conjugations. Just concentrate on the third person singular, which is IL, ELLEON, and the third person plural, which is il or elle plural. D'accord? Okay. So here you have some conjugations. Marcher, it's an ER verb. How do you do it? Remove the ER, you get your base. So this is your base now. This is my base. If I remove ER, I get my base. Okay. And to my base, what do I add? Something is wrong with my... Oh, bugger. Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll just show you with my pointer. So this is my base, marcher. I remove the ER, I get my base. To my base for IL, ELLE and ON, I just add a marcha. If I'm talking with the verb parler, I will say parla. The ILS form, I get my base, and to my base I add accent, RENT, marcher, parler, aller. All right, R. IR and RE, same thing. Remove the IR, you get your base. To your base, you add IL for the singular, IRENT for the plural, and same for regular RE verbs. The ending is the same. Cut off the RE, you get your base. To your base, you add IR or IRENT. So memorize this. ER verbs, cut off the last two letters, you get your base. For the IL form, add A. For the ILS form, add E, accent RENT. For IR and RE verbs, remove the ending, you get your base. And then you have the same endings for the singular and the plural. The singular ending is IT and the plural ending is IRENT. So that's quite simple. Okay? Keep that in mind. So these are your irregulars. You have to know a few of them. Once again, don't freak out. Just concentrate on the IL form and the ILS form. So for je, être, it is fut. The plural is fur. Voir, to see, it is vi. And this is vir. FIT, FIRENT. Okay? And avoir, I don't know why my pointer is not able to point. Anyway, right. So avoir, it is EUT, jot it down, and the plural form is EURENT. So these are your most common verbs. Être, avoir, I've not written it here, but remember, avoir is EUT, the singular form, EURENT is the plural form. Voir is there, faire is here, être, avoir, faire. Learn these for now. D'accord? So here you have the rest of the irregulars. These are the endings for the regulars, but here, this is what I want you to look at. Avoir, IL form is EUT. ILS form is EURENT. Pouvoir, PUT, PURENT. D'accord? Most of them follow these conjugations. So BOIRE, the IL form will be BUT and the ILS form will be BURENT. D'accord? Connu, it's a sort of a subgroup in the irregulars. So connu, IL form will be CONNUT and the ILS form will be CONNURENT. D'accord? So vivre also, this is your base. VEC, IL will be UT, ILS will be URENT. So if you learn this maybe you can call this a third group or a fourth group, but it's an irregular group because the base is not formed normally. D'accord? So learn these irregular verbs, but just learn the IL form and the ILS form. Okay, let's do some exercises now. Mettez les verbes en parenthèse au passé simple ou à l'imparfait. We have to confuse you, right? Because it's so simple. So now you have to put your verbs either into the passé simple or the imparfait. You follow the same rules as distinguishing the passé composé and the imparfait. Right? So the imparfait is used for long actions, vague actions, repetitive actions, descriptive actions, and passé simple is for anything that's fast and instantaneous and precise. So here you have le petit chaperon rouge, Red Riding Hood, and she's walking, promener, dans le bois, in the woods, when she meets a wolf. A loup is a wolf. So she walks, it's a long action, descriptive action, and she meets. So the first verb is imparfait. The second verb is the passé simple. D'accord? Now, Louis XIV he was an authoritative king. So both I will accept here. Why? If it's just a historical fact, you can say he was a king. But if you're saying if all through his reign, you're describing him as an authoritative person, you can use the imparfait. D'accord? Maybe I can make it simpler for you that whenever you have the verb être, both possibilities are there. Yes? Okay, over here, farmers, cultivated, cereal, 19th century, and now they make rice and wheat. So once again, you use the passé simple because you're narrating a fact that you're just stating a fact that took place in the 19th century. The Second World War, la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, caused a lot of suffering. Again, you have the passé simple because you're narrating something. You're just stating a fact. Les terroristes attaquèrent. They attacked. It was a precise thing. They came, attacked, left. Short, fast action. They came, attacked, left. So it is the passé simple. Les vêtements furent. If you give me the imparfait here, it's okay. Être can be both passé simple or imparfait. But this one has to be passé simple because look at it. Clothes were very expensive at this point of time. The entire period. So you made stuff. Whenever you wanted to make it, instead of buying stuff, you made stuff. All right? The next one, Vincent marchait. He was walking the entire night. Therefore, imparfait. When he was very tired, it can be both. Être can be both. He fell asleep. Fell asleep. Fell asleep. Over here. Fast action. He got up, the next one, fast action. And then he started his journey again. Fast action. One after the other. He fell asleep, he got up, he continued his journey. So that has to be passé simple. He lived in a big house. It can be both. He lived his entire life, or you're just narrating a fact. He was not lucky, descriptive, imparfait. He lost suddenly he lost everything. He lost his money. And after that, he lived like a common peasant. Yeah? So we won't confuse you much in the exam, but this is the normal way to do it. Now, to be very frank with you, you do either the Passé Simple or the imparfait correctly, you get your mark. I'm not going to be very strict on you identifying it correctly. All right? But in certain sentences like number 1, you have to do the identification there correctly. The rest of the sentences, over here, Vincent walking the whole night, and that also, there's a clear distinction. But many times when the distinction is not very correct and you just do the imparfait or the passé simple correctly, you get your mark. D'accord? All right, one last exercise. Trouver l'infinity des verbes au passé simple. So these are the conjugated verbs and you should give me the IR verb or the ER form or the RE form. So accoucha, accoucha. Wherever it ends with A, it has to be a ER verb. So the first is accoucher, remove the A and add a ER. Same thing for the next one. Same thing for the third one. Fur, irregular. Do you remember? Être. Demanda, once again ER. Vir, vi, irregular, voir. Aima, a, therefore, aimer. FIT, irregular sphere. So all these were 9, 10, 11. All of them are ER verbs. Offrir, when you look at the verb, you can find out what the verb is. Offrir, it's offrir. Trouva, combla, all the rest that end are ER verbs. So hopefully the examiner will give you this in the exam. It's a very easy question. Merci. Bye bye. Bonne nuit.